All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Waharakak. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out here toiling in this truth. And I want to say Shalom to the few Akwathim that listen and learn in silence. To all of you, I say Shalom. I'm the brother Pathak Amath from the GMS Dallas camp, and I just want to come back at you with a really quick hit lesson. It's not going to be anything long, I'm going to jump into Baruch, the 4th chapter. I'm going to read a few verses down just to make a quick point of what we have coming to us. The Lord, of course, he put us in captivity under these devils, going back to the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. You know what I'm saying? The Lord told us in the 15th verse, because, of course, Deuteronomy 28, the 28th chapter, that's your heaven and your hell, man. The first 1 through 14 is heaven, exaltation, everything working for you, being in your favor, being above these nations, all of these things. And, of course, that's if you hearken to the voice of the Lord. But if you don't hearken to the voice of the Lord, that's when you go from 15 through 68. The Lord said he's going to destroy us, man, which we didn't hearken. And we've been under the curses, man, which these curses pursuant to Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter and verse 7 are starting to flip and go on to our enemies, primarily these Edomites, these devils, man, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child, So, but that's your heaven and your hell. They've been in 1 through 14. We've been in 15 through 68. Everything's about to flip. They're going into 15 through 68. And yes, 68 was the slave trade, man. You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be another slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade. There's going to be another slave trade pursuant to the scriptures. So they're going into 15 through 68, including another slave trade is going to happen. They're going into slavery, and we're going into 1 through 14, where everything is going to work for us and we're going to flourish, man. We're going to be exalted over these nations. And, that's what's going on. But so we're coming into the times where the Lord is about to take us out of the condition that he put us in, being under these heathen nations, them being above us, having their these Edomites primarily and having their boot on our neck, kicking Jake's ass all up and down the streets on a daily basis, putting them to death, being under these hellish conditions. And that's why the scriptures say in Revelation, the 20th chapter and verse 14, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. That's what it's going into. The Lord is about to destroy this place while these things, which the bulk of the Israelites are here in America. So he's about to destroy the place where the bulk of the Israelites are and been going through these hellish conditions, being put to death. You know what I'm saying? That's that death and hell, being cast into the lake of fire, man, because he's going to burn it up. Thermonuclear missiles going to hit this place. And it's going to be judged by the Lord soon. And that's the judgment of the Lord. And these things are coming, man, which Baruch 4 goes into that. So I want to get into this real quick, just like I said, real quick hit lesson, nothing lengthy, but it's all through the spirit, of course. But, and the spirit's like the wind. So, but real quick, this is Baruch chapter 4 without any further ado. This is Baruch chapter 4 and verse 27. Because we got good things coming to us. The Lord is about to take care of his nation, man. And of course, his nation of people, the Israelites, consist of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negro descent. And of course, the scattered seed that are not going to come looking like the typical Israelite, man. You know what I'm saying? You are the people of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? But you have the scattered seed have the spirit of an Israelite, man. That's why the scriptures say that. You know what I'm saying? Try the spirit by the spirit. As a matter of fact, let me get that one in Romans, the 8th chapter real quick. I don't want to mess it up because I can't remember exactly how it's worded. It's Romans 8. Salakia, look at, boy. Wow, I was clearly in Romans, went to Acts. This is Romans 8 and verse 16. And it reads, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And that's what it is, man. The spirit of an Israelite bears witness to another spirit of an Israelite, man, that we are the children of the Most High. That's how we're going to know, and that's how we know in these times, you know what I'm saying? When we see these other nations, certain things about them, because we're the salt of the earth. You know, there's things about a Jake, you know, an Israelite, that these other heathen don't have. They don't have it, man. As a matter of fact, that's why the Lord said he does put a difference between Israel and the Egyptians, man. You know, we're not the same. You know what I'm saying? We're lively. You know what I'm saying? They're not, man. They don't have spirit. They don't have the spirit of Yahweh Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? These nations don't have that. So, you know, we have those things. You know, we have the, as a matter of fact, what's that one? Jeremiah, real quick. Jeremiah, is it 51? Let me see if it's Jeremiah 51. I don't know if it's this is Jeremiah 51 and 19. It says the portion of Jacob is not like them, talking about these other nations, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of armies is his name. So yeah, there it is, man. The Israelites are the rod of the Most High's inheritance. He's the former of all things. He's the salt of the earth. All of these things, you know, make Jake a special people, man. You know what I'm saying? A peculiar people, Salakia, as the scriptures say. So the Israelites among these other nations are going to have those qualities as well, man. So that's why you try the spirit by the spirit. You know, the spirit is going to bear witness itself to the spirit of an Israelite that they are Israelites, the children of the Most High, man, like the scriptures say. So, you know, again, you know, so going back real quick, let's go back to Baruch, because again, the Lord is about to take care of his people, man. You know, he's going to take us out of these conditions, the condition that he put us in, you know, being under these curses, being in slavery, you know, being in captivity to these devils, you know, being oppressed, having a boot upon our neck and a boot up our tails, you know, on a daily basis, primarily these 2/3 in these times, you know. But the Lord is even going to take care of them, man. But beginning and starting with the elect, you know what I'm saying? So here we got good things coming to us. This is Baruch chapter 4 and verse 27, and it reads, "Be of good comfort, O my children," talking about the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and of course the scattered seed that may not come looking like the average or typical Israelite. Yeah, Israel is not going to come look. Everybody's not going to come looking like Shaft or Shaq or Wesley Snipes, man. You know, for you all black only Israelite groups. Yeah, they going off, man. They don't have the spirit of the Lord. The Lord is not dealing with them. It says, "Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High," which the remnant that's returning in these times, pursuant to Isaiah the 10th chapter, are doing just that, man. They're crying out. They're crying to the Lord, man. You know, it says, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. So the Lord is not going to forget us. He's going to remember us. And what does Zion mean, man? In the Hebrew, Zion is Tazayawan, which means a monument, a thing remembered. The Lord said he wasn't going to forget his people. He was going to remember them. So here it is. The Lord is reiterating that fact right here, man. And as a matter of fact, when you read up, let's jump up real quick to verse 6, because this is what happened, man. You know what I'm saying? This is Baruch 4 and 6. It says, "Ye were sold to the nations." Boom. The Israelites were sold to the nations. We were scattered upon these nations, which goes back to the curses in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, in verse 64. The Lord said he was going to scatter us among all these nations from one end of heaven to the other, man. You know, and there it says you will serve other gods, you know, that neither ye or your forefathers knew, roughly paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what's going on to this very day. You know, the average of Jake is in these churches, in the religious sect of Esau's, you know what I'm saying? And they're worshiping idols, man, to this very day, which the Lord has a problem with, man. You know what I'm saying? It says, as a matter of fact, I believe it's going to go into it in the very next verse. But it says, Baruch 4 and 6, "Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction." So it wasn't to destroy us, man. You know, it was a punishment to teach us a lesson, man. You know, being here in America is a prison sentence, man. Micah 2 and 10. This is not your rest, you know, but a sore destruction, man. You know, this was a prison sentence, a punishment for going off, man. And they're still going off. Idol worship, Jacob and these idols, man. The Christian church, that's idol worship, man. The Jeebus is an idol, man. So our people are, and then still to this very day, man. So it says, Baruch 4:6, ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved the Most High to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemies, which all 17 other nations outside the nation of Israel are our enemies, but primarily these Edomites, these devils, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child. And here's the reason. Verse 7, it says, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High. There it is, idol worship, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what Jake always gets Jake into trouble. And like I said, in these very times we're in right here today in 2025, Jake is still doing it. They're still into idol worship. That's why the Lord is about to bring punishment, drop a judgment, the hammer on Jake. In these times, they got to get that last ass whooping, man. You know what I'm saying? Those scourges for amendment, man. That ass whooping for correction. You know what I'm saying? To set things right. You know what I'm saying? We're in those times, and that's what's coming, man. Jake got to die death by pain. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing else that's going to correct this problem, man. You know what I'm saying? They're not hearing the prophets, the mouthpiece of the Lord in these times. So the Lord is just going to have to judge them, man. But this is why, for sacrificing to devils, that idol worship, man. So we're going to jump back down, but it wasn't for our destruction. It was to teach us a lesson, man. So back in Baruch 4:27, it says, be of good, but because we got good things coming, man. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered of him that bought these things upon you. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. And that's exactly what the remnant is doing, man. We're in the spirit of seeking the Lord 10 times more, man. Going harder for the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? We're no longer seeking the ways of this world. You know what I'm saying? We've come out of that. We've been bought out of the darkness, pursuant to Isaiah 60 and verse 2. This earth is in darkness and these people in gross darkness, but we've been brought into this marvelous light, man. This beautiful gospel of this marvelous light, man. So we see all the corruption, the wickedness, the evils, of this place, man. You know what I'm saying? And we no longer want a part of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're seeking the Lord, man. When we're seeking him 10 times more, man. This is a way of life to us. The America is no longer our way of life, man. You know what I'm saying? We've come out of that place, the celebrating of these wicked pagan holidays and birthdays. You know what I'm saying? Going to these buildings, worshiping idols. These people get demons on them, running around, flipping and dancing and twerking and all that's going on in the church buildings, man. You know what I'm saying? They're all about the darkness, man. You know what I'm saying? But we've been bought out of that. We're seeking the Lord 10 times more. This is our livelihood. This is a culture, a way of life, man. These are our customs. We come back to all of these things, man. You know what I'm saying? And we're seeking the Lord 10 times more. But verse 29, it says, for he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. Yeah, we're in the times of salvation, brothers and sisters. Akwathium, man. We got beautiful things coming. I guess this is kind of a little exhortation lesson. So it says, for he that hath brought these plagues upon you, because that's exactly what they were, plagues. Those curses are plagues, man. You know what I'm saying? And Jake is under these curses and plagues to this very day, man. Getting put to death out here by these devils, for a little bit of nothing. You see what this devil Trump is doing right now. Jacob's trouble. We're in Jacob's trouble, man. It's going to get worse. But he's already started with the northern kingdom, and now he's about to come after the southern kingdom, man. You niggas and spigots got it coming to you, man. And, you all talking trash and talking shit about the men of the Lord out here, trying to give you the answers and show you the way via this Bible and the words of the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord. And you want to, hey, bro, it's all good. The Lord tells you in Proverbs, the 1st chapter, he's going to laugh at your calamity, man. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to try to call on him and he ain't going to answer, man. So it's all good. Do your thing, man. You're getting caught up to with your own devices, man, like it says. But it says, verse 30, it says, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. So comfort is coming to Jerusalem, man. Yasharallah, man. The Israelites, man. Verse 31, miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoiced at thy fall. And of course, all of these nations rejoiced at our fall. They're in joint area in cahoots right now. That's why there is such thing as the UN, these United Nations, which goes back to that council in Psalms 83, man. This is the modern day, this is that modern day council in these times, the UN, the United Nations. You Israelites don't have a seat on that council, man. Every other nation does, man, because they're conspiring just like they did back then to keep you down, to keep the name of Israel, from us from knowing who we are, man, to keep that all suppressed, man. So they have these private little meetings, and they go over these things, man. But the Lord said in verse 31, miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoiced at thy fall. And again, all these nations rejoice at our fall, but primarily these devils, man. So all of them are about to be very miserable, man. The Lord is about to touch these nations, man, primarily these devils, man. You know what I'm saying? But it says, verse 32, miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. And all of these nations have put their hands on the apple of the Most High's eye, man. You know what I'm saying? But primarily, again, these devils, man, these Edomites, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child, they really got to pay, man. But all these nations have to pay, All these nations are going into captivity, man. You know what I'm saying? But of course, Esau is going to really get it, man. They did the most, man. Verse 33, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. There it is, man. They rejoiced at our fall, and they have a fall coming, man. You know what I'm saying? Lamentations, the 4th chapter. The Lord said he's no longer going to put his nation into captivity anymore. We've suffered our last one, man. This is it. But now he's going to visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. It's Edom's turn, man. These Edomites, it's their time. So they're about to be desolate. We've been desolate. We've been there. We've done that, And it wasn't even our as it says in Jeremiah, the 12th chapter, or is it 49 and 12 or 12 and 49? As a matter of fact, I don't want to jack it up. Let's get that and we'll come back. I believe it's 49 and 12. Jeremiah 49 and verse 12. Come on, man. Look at Satan, bro. 49 and verse 12, I believe. This is Jeremiah 49 and 12. And it reads, for thus saith Yahweh Shemel Shai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink. So it's their turn, man. We drank and we weren't supposed to. We're the chosen nation of the Most High, man. But of course, we went off, and the Lord had to teach us a lesson. So we ended up drinking at their hand. Now they're going to drink at our hand, man. Slavery is coming to them. So again, that desolation is coming to them, man. Back in Baruch 4 and 34, for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude and her pride. Bam, that lets you know exactly who this is talking about. The scripture saying, Obadiah, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. Man, they go back to the rocks, mountains of Petra, man. Mount Seir back in the day. It's Petra today. But yeah, man. So the Esau, man. These Edomites, man. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude. So they about the rejoicing. And that's why he says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, in Lamentations, the 4th chapter. Because they're about to be visited, man. They're in their heaven right now. They're about to be cast out like the scripture says, Satan cast out of heaven like lightning, roughly paraphrasing. He's about to be cast. He's being cast out of rulership as we speak. You know, his nation, his kingdom is falling, man, right before his own eyes and right before everybody else's eyes. You know, the economy is crashing. This place is crumbling, man. It's through. These people through. They bugged out. You know, they all over the place out here doing. They don't know what to do, man. You know, the glass is darkened to them. They don't have no answers, man. But it says, so the Lord is going to take away that rejoicing of that great multitude at the end of 34, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. So the pride of these devils is about to and be turned into mourning, and the epitome of that pride is Trump. He's the perfect man. Bro, we know what these things are talking about. That dude is so proud, man. You know what I'm saying? And all the things he's putting, he's the perfect person to bring these these latter days to pass, man. You know, but that pride, he's a very proud man, and that pride's gonna be turned to mourning, you know, because he's gonna open his eyes soon and get a whip on his back, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, he gonna be in hell, man. You know, under the Israelites, man, that condition that he's gonna get put in. You know, it's gonna go from proud to mourning, man, because he's gonna be getting lashes, getting the whips across his back, man. You know, in complete hell, in slavery for a long 1,000-year period, man. You know. So it says, for fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, talking about America, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time, because America is going to become a desert for doleful creatures, man. You know, he's going to burn this place up, and it's never going to be inhabited again by man, only doleful creatures, man. The scripture's going to that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what's coming, man. That fire's coming down soon, man. It's going to burn this place up. Verse 36, it says, O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from the Most High. And that's what we're doing. We're looking to the east, man, and we see it. We can see the kingdom at hand, man. You know what I'm saying? And we're preaching these good tidings, man, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand, which will be on earth pursuant to Matthew 6 and 10 and many others. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah, Micah, you know, all these things. The laws are going to go forth out of Zion. You know what I'm saying? That's here on earth, man. You know, Matthew 6 and 10, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, because there's perfect righteousness and order in the heavens, and that's going to be established in the earth by way of the rod, breaking them into pieces like a potter's vessel, like the scriptures say. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, we got good things coming. As a matter of fact, let me get one more before I end this. Isaiah, because the Lord is about to do beautiful things for his nation of people. He jacked us up for a period of time, but now he's the remnant is returning, and things and the Lord is about to bring good things to our nation. This is Isaiah chapter 54 in verse 7, and it reads, for a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. Yeah, for that small moment where, like, to us it seemed like it was been forever. But of course, the scriptures say that one day to the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as to one day to the Lord, man. So it seemed like a long time to us, which it really hasn't been. So that's that small moment. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. The Lord is about to show mercy, great mercies to his people, man. Verse 8, in a little wrath I hid my face. Yeah, the Lord hid his face from us for a period of time. These nations were able to have their way with us, man. You know, whatever they wanted to do. Esau has been able to do whatever he wanted to do to the Lord's people. But now it's time to pay. In a little wrath, which was the wrath of the Lord, man. We read it in Baruch, the 4th chapter, man. Hey, we went off, you know, idol worship, you know, going off. And the Lord sold us unto these nations, you know, not for our destruction, but because we moved him to wrath, man. So in a little wrath, I hid my face from thee, Salakia, for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, thy Redeemer. So that mercy is coming. These are the times we're in. This is what we have to look forward to. That comfort, that mercy, those great mercies. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is about to take care of his people. He didn't forget us, man. You know what I'm saying? And anybody with that eye salve, with that discernment, we can see it. We can see the times we're in. And like scripture say, here we have no continuing city. We look for that which to come. And it's coming. It's on its way. So, hey, I just want to, I guess, like I said, it's turned out it's a little exhortation lesson. Hey, be of good cheer. Keep your head up. Keep fighting. Keep pushing. And hey, we almost out of here. The Lord is about to take care of his people. So with that, hopefully this was edifying to the hopeful elect. Giving all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone. And peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David. The Bayath Chal Dawadah Shalom.